Our Deputy Ministers, Deputy Minister Buganov,
Доброе утро,
Deputy Minister
заместитель министра
Blotas,
Баганов, заместитель
senior
министра Блотов,
officials from the Russian Federation
высокие представители
and
Российской
from
Федерации
South Africa,
и
members
представители
of the
Южной Африки,
media, of
представители
which
средств
there are
массовой
many.
информации, которые
You're
присутствуют
obviously a
здесь в
very
большом
popular
количестве.
person,
Вы являетесь очень
Minister Lavrov,
популярным
because we never
лицом,
get so
господин
many
Лавров.
media here, a whole
Вы
line.
никогда не видели, что у нас столько корреспондентов
according to all
находится в нашем здании.
our
Доброе
colleagues
утро
from,
всем
the media. So
присутствующим,
we will,
членам
just
средств
deal
массовой
with the
информации.
opening of our meeting. Following that, we will
Я
request
сейчас открою
the members of the media to please proceed to have coffee or focus on other more interesting stories, and we will carry on with our formal meeting. So allow me then, Your Excellency, Minister Lavrov, Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Russian Federation, and the delegation accompanying you, to warmly greet you and to say that we as South Africa welcome you and your delegation to our country, and I wish personally to thank you for honoring issues facing the world today. More effort should be directed at promoting peace and security, fair trade and human rights, to ending hunger, preventing health epidemics, tackling the challenges of climate change, and taking measures to protect the environment. All of these issues require global cooperation as they go beyond individual countries and cultures. As the African continent, we have witnessed and have overcome many, many conflicts. We know that the conflicts confronting Africa today have disappeared from international mention, but we are still experiencing devastating effects on many countries on the continent, both in the political sphere as well as economic effects. As a continent, we have undertaken that we will endeavor to work toward peaceful resolution of all conflicts and use diplomacy and the search for peace as a route to the resolution of disputes. And within the context of the African Union, we have agreed this is a route we will undertake. Therefore, we're fully alert that conflict, wherever it exists in the world, impacts negatively on all of us, and as the developing world impacts on us, particularly as the African continent. This is why, as South Africa, we consistently articulate that we will always stand ready to support the peaceful resolution of conflicts in the continent and throughout the globe. South Africa believes that the only path to peace is through diplomacy, through dialogue, and through a commitment to the principles of the UN Charter, including the principle that all member states will endeavor to settle disputes by peaceful means. It is important, therefore, that I mention on behalf of South Africa our sincere wish that the conflict currently between Russia and Ukraine will soon be brought to a peaceful end through diplomacy and negotiation, as we believe this is the desire of all of us in the globe. Once more, Minister, allow me to conclude by welcoming you to our country and by expressing my wish that we will have fruitful deliberations on issues that are of core concern and interest to both our countries. I thank you very much, and I now invite you, Minister Lavrov, to present your opening remarks. And we then will allow the media to leave our meeting. Honourable
They
Minister.
want them to leave now?
Spoken. Not now.
Thank you very much.
Over to you, Minister.
Dear Madam Minister, thank you for
Большое спасибо, госпожа министр.
here in
Спасибо
the
большое,
markets of
госпожа министр. Спасибо за приглашение.
You invited me to visit.
Когда мы в прошлый раз с вами встречались на полях БРИКС, вы пригласили меня посетить вашу страну, и я пообещал приехать, и вот я здесь. Спасибо вам.
Organization of our activities, the way which is most productive. Indeed, I basically share everything you said about our bilateral relations, including regular political dialogue between our leaders, including quite intense contacts between the parliamentarians, both as they exchange bilateral visits and as they meet in the context of inter-parliamentary union. There was recently a meeting of the working group of Inter-Parliamentary Union on the situation in Ukraine, and the speakers of the Federation Council of Russia and of the National Assembly of South Africa participated. They also took part in the context of parliamentarians getting together under G20 aegis. And of course, we appreciate regular contacts and cooperation between the ruling parties, United Russia and African National Congress. They are in touch with each other. Dialogue between our ministries is very much confidential, friendly, open, sincere. Certainly I would be remiss if I don't mention the contacts between our military, the representatives of your Ministry of Defense, including the minister himself, regularly visit events which our Ministry of Defense organizes in Russia, as it was last August when an International Military Technical Forum, Army 2022, was held. We have broad cooperation in the area of economy, outer space, natural resources, high technology, and as you said, Madam Minister, the Intergovernmental Commission on Trade and Economic Issues is an important instrument, and we hope that they can meet in a couple of months as the co-chair discuss between themselves. Humanitarian cooperation, educational cooperation, cultural exchanges, all this is in the interest of our peoples, and we thank you for paying attention to this important area of our relations. Indeed, as you said, on international arena, we have good relations between our ambassadors to the United Nations, and I would highlight the issue of the Security Council reform, where we strongly support the additional seats for developing countries, because it is the underrepresentation of Africa, Asia, and Latin America, which is the key problem of the Council today. And certainly we cherish our cooperation in G20. The latest summit in Indonesia was, I believe, quite telling about the desire of all members, or most members of the G20, to concentrate on the original mandate of this group and not to politicize the agenda items. And of course, we look forward to South Africa presidency in BRICS. The agenda is huge and very important, especially in the context of the developments, not very helpful developments in the world economy and world finances. You mentioned about this, Madam Minister. We are all in favor of peaceful resolution of disputes, and will be always ready to discuss negotiated solution to any conflict on earth. Unfortunately, most of the conflicts launched by our Western colleagues did not lead to any improvement in the situation, and this is something which the world inherited. As regards the specific situation between us and Ukraine, it is well known that we supported the proposal of Ukrainian side to negotiate early in the special military operation, and by the end of March in Istanbul, two delegations agreed on the principles to settle this conflict. It is well known, it was published openly, that our American and British and some European colleagues told Ukraine that it is too early to deal. And the arrangement, which was almost agreed, was never revisited by the Kyiv regime. And as I mentioned to you, Madam Minister, in September, President Zelensky signed a decree prohibiting all Ukrainian officials to negotiate on anything with the Russian Federation. So I believe it is absolutely obvious as regards the origin of the problem of lack of negotiations. But I would like to highly appreciate the position of principle of South Africa, including the position which you, Madam Minister, introduced in your recent interview. I respect the openness and the responsible approach which you demonstrated on the basis of your allegiance to the key national interest of South Africa and its people. So I look forward to very productive negotiations, and once again, thank you for your invitation and for your hospitality.
Thank you very much, Minister, and thank you for your opening remarks. Colleagues from the media, we now request you to allow us to proceed with our official meeting deliberations. You will have an opportunity to return once we have concluded those. Thank you very much.